I've talked a lot about how much I love German food in several of my videos, but I haven't said much about my favorite drinks. There are of course many awesome drinks in Germany that are great on their own or as complements to all of the awesome food. So in this video, we're going to go through 10 of my favorite non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks in Germany. I'm also going to talk about my personal favorite food pairings with each drink, as well as some other combinations. Los geht's! Let's get started with non-alcoholic drinks. The first one I want to mention is a soda that you can get in the US, but I think it tastes better here, and that's Fanta. They have many flavors, but I prefer the orange flavor. And yes, it tastes way better here than in the US. The US version is full of artificial flavors and colors and high fructose corn syrup. The German, and for that matter European version, is not, so it's way better. And Fanta goes great with currywurst. I also love to get Fanta whenever I eat a burger here. In Berlin, there's a little place called Burgermeister that I recommend for some of the best burgers in town. The next drink on the list is another one you may know, but that also tastes way better here. Orangina. This is yet another case of artificial flavors and colors and high fructose corn syrup in the US, but not in the European version. I can't really remember Orangina being that widely available in the US, but whenever I had the opportunity to get one at a European-style bakery, for example, I did. And now I drink them all the time in Germany since they are more readily available and they taste even better here. I think Orangina and doner kebab go really well together. These days, I also really like to get Orangina whenever I grab some Greek food like souvlaki. The third non-alcoholic drink that I love in Germany is one that's not available in the US, and it's called Spezi. It's funny because even though I lived in Germany as a child and visited Germany many times throughout my life, I never actually had a Spezi until I moved here about 5 years ago. Spezi has been around in Germany since the 1960s, and they've been popular for a long time, but somehow I never had one before. So once I moved here, I figured it was finally time to try it. And I'm really glad that I did, because Spezi is now one of my favorite drinks. Spezi is basically a hybrid between cola and orange soda, and there are several companies that make many different varieties of Spezi. This one, which is made by the large German brewery Paulaner, is the one that I like the best. In fact, one of my favorite Italian restaurants in Berlin actually has Spezi on tap, and it's the best I've had so far. And if you do try Spezi, I recommend adding a slice of orange to it. This makes it taste great. I think Spezi goes really well with Flammkuchen, which is a special sort of flatbread similar to pizza. But it's also awesome with pizza, especially my favorite type of all, Neapolitan. Okay, moving on. The next drink is also one that I think is pretty unique to Germany, and that is a Schorle. A Schorle is basically a combination of fruit juice and sparkling water. You can actually get Schorles with any fruit juice and even with wine. But my favorites are definitely Apfel or apple Schorle and cherry Schorle. This one is one of the best bio or organic Apfel Schorles. It's made by a company called Proviant, which is a well-known soda company in Berlin. From my experience, Apfel and cherry Schorle both go really well with my personal favorite, Wiener Schnitzel. But Schorle also tastes great with Käsespätzle, which is handmade German pasta mixed with lots of cheese. Okay, that's enough for sodas. Before I switch to alcoholic drinks though, I want to mention some special German teas that I really like and I think are worth a try. First, there's Ostfriesland tea, which has a unique flavor and is very popular in northwestern Germany. Ostfriesland tea is a blend of black tea such as Assam, Darjeeling, and several other African varieties. It's served with these awesome pieces of rock sugar and cream. It has a really interesting flavor that you should definitely try if you haven't already. The other tea I want to mention is called Kräutertee, or herbal tea. There are countless varieties available in Germany, but generally, they typically include a mix of herbs like peppermint and chamomile, among many others. My favorite tea brand is called Bioteak, which is a tea producer in Bavaria that has a huge selection and really makes some excellent teas. I love to make Ostfriesland and Kräutertee for breakfast, especially in the winter months. Ostfriesland tea is great with Lebkuchen, and I recommend having some Kräutertee with Apfelstrudel. You might be surprised to learn that non-alcoholic drinks are becoming increasingly popular in Germany. Even alcohol-free beer is growing in popularity. And I can say I've tried some really good ones here. But of course, Germans are still known for the high quality of their alcoholic beverages. So let's go over some of my favorite alcoholic drinks in Germany. Of course, we have to start with one of Germany's top national beverages, beer. I think my taste might be a bit different than many Germans, since my favorite beer is a summer specialty called Radler, which is a mix of Helles and light beer or lemonade. My German uncle first introduced me to Radler when I was visiting him back in 2012. I've been hooked ever since. This is my favorite Radler, which is from a brewery called Gösser, which is actually Austrian. While Radler is still very popular in Germany, it's not as big as many other types of beer like Pilsner. Regardless, I love to drink Radler on a warm summer day with pretty much any German food. It actually goes particularly well with bratwurst and some fries from a sausage stand. My second most favorite type of beer is Dunkel, which is a semi-sweet dark lager. The first time I ever had Dunkel was when I was barely a teenager and I attended an Oktoberfest celebration with my family in Bavaria. Yes, believe it or not, you are allowed to drink beer when you're 14 years old in Germany, as long as you're accompanied by an adult. And you can also drink beer in public here, which is also a bit of a departure from the US. Anyways, ever since I was a teenager, I've been a Dunkel fan. My favorite Dunkel is this one, which is made by Erdinger. In my opinion, Dunkel goes really well with most German foods. In particular, if you're in the mood for an alcoholic beverage, you can have a Dunkel with Käsespätzle instead of an Apfelschorle. Next, I've got to mention another excellent German specialty, Riesling wine. Now I know that Riesling is produced in many other countries and is available around the world, but I prefer German Riesling. It did originate in the Rhine River Valley after all. As with many of the drinks I've already mentioned, there are many varieties of Riesling. My current favorite was introduced to me by a German friend whose relatives own the Forster Winery. I think their sweeter late harvest Spätlese and Auslese Riesling are amazing. For me, Riesling is particularly good with Spargel, which is German white asparagus. I'll speak more about Spargel, a German delicacy, in a future video. Of course, Riesling is also phenomenal with a simple platter of fruit, cheese, and German bread. Okay, my next favorite alcoholic beverage is a specialty best enjoyed at German Christmas markets in late November through December. And that's Glühwein, or mulled wine. For those that don't know, Glühwein is a combination of red wine and various spices that are heated up together, and it does a great job of warming you up over the coldest months here. In addition to the traditional Glühwein, there are also other great flavors like apple and cherry that you should definitely try. It really is one of the best drinks on a cold night in Germany while enjoying all of the great food, the stands, and entertainment at the Christmas market. To take it to the next level, I love to drink the Finnish variation called Glück, which is made of red wine, sugar, spices such as cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, cloves, and bitter orange. It's a little smoother than your typical Glühwein. So if you get the chance, check out Glück too. You won't be disappointed. For me, Glühwein goes perfectly with pretty much all of the foods offered at German Christmas markets. But in particular, I like it with Dutch puffertjes. The last drink I want to talk about today is another German creation that comes right out of the Black Forest in southwestern Germany. This is a type of brandy called either Kirschwasser or just Kirsch. And while I'm personally not much of a hard liquor drinker, I really like this stuff, probably because it's made from my favorite fruit of all, cherries. Kirsch, in particular, is made out of morello cherries. I don't really have a favorite brand of Kirsch, I just make sure that it comes from the Black Forest, and then I know it'll be good. My absolute favorite thing to drink Kirsch with is Black Forest cake, because when made properly, one of this cake's key ingredients is, you guessed it, Kirschwasser. But Kirsch also goes really well with many German desserts. Really anything made with chocolate. Alrighty, those are 10 of my favorite drinks in Germany. I hope this has been useful for you. All of this talk of drinks is really making me thirsty. This feels like a good time for a Radler. Prost! Bis später!